guys, welcome back to day 3 of ISCT TV here in Dublin 2026. As you can see, there's a lot of chaos around us. You can see the whole picture now. We're closing in on the shutdown, and it's just been a crazy, exciting day, and there's just been so much going on. Patrick,
Yeah.
it's been intense, but it's been really good. What have been some of your highlights?
So for me, it's just seeing the breadth of the society. I've been involved since 2013. I've been to every annual meeting since 2013. I started in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. So someone said to me actually in the lunch line today, there's so many MSCs here. Why are there MSCs here? Which is funny because people used to call it the MSC Society. And now we see not just MSCs, not just CAR T cells, but we talked yesterday about the macrophages.
Yep.
We're seeing islet cells for diabetes.
Yeah.
So just how much the field has matured, how we no longer have investigational therapies. People have treated a couple of patients, and that's exciting. We now have approved drugs, and not just CAR T now, but a whole broad array of therapies.
Yeah, I mean, even just in the time that I've been coming along to these meetings, I've seen, we've been talking about patient access and theoretical ways to make that happen. And then, I attended that plenary today, talking about how they're actually doing it, talking about how in India they've treated so many patients already, how the infrastructure that they've developed is able to be taken to other parts of the world so that we can improve those accesses. And it's just, it's an amazing thing, right?
And you bring up access again.
I know.
So I think it makes sense then that the society has added a 4th pillar. Yes. So you have academia, you have industry or commercialization, regulatory, and now we have the clinical pillar, right?
Yeah.
So Jaap Olens, I think, is the perfect person to lead that.
Absolutely. And that was an amazing session that he led. And I'm really excited to see that the clinical pillar really develop. I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? Like that's a really important part of our community. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops. Yeah.
The other thing I saw today, I ran from a session
Yes.
on standards across the world, right? And I have to say, I get jazzed about science and maybe new regulatory pathways and kind of charging forward with something new. I thought it was going to be a very dry session. It was standing room only. Actually, it was not, because they would not allow more people into the room. They locked people out. And it was a very engaging session. I was absolutely shocked at how many people wanted to speak with the speakers afterwards.
It was so good. And they even talked about New Zealand. And so, I almost stood up and clapped at the back. But it's amazing to see representation from ANZ on this global stage as well. And that's really exciting for me. And it was a fantastic session. It was actually really interesting. And it's looking and seeing how the different jurisdictions regulate these things, these very complex moving parts, is really interesting. And I think that there's learnings that we can take across the board. And it all links together with like what we were talking about yesterday about cross-border access and things like that. And it's really nice to see that, sort of closing the loop, if you like.
Yeah.
And then I got to do a shout out because we had our mentoring summit this morning, and it was an amazing conversation. For those of you who haven't been involved in mentoring, it's really worth attending these summits. We have them every year. And we had our incoming president sort of really just openly talking about how best we can take our ESPs and train them for leadership. And it was just...
This is Dan Weiss?
Yeah.
So that's so funny because I was going to bring up that I had a conversation with Dan Weiss about my journey to ISCT and his journey and how I'm where I am today, on ISCT with you.
Yeah.
Because Bruce Levine reached down to me in 2013 and said, hey, we would like you to represent Children's National on the Immunogene Therapy Committee. And so from there, you try and make a difference, and somebody sees that you have potential and they keep reaching out to you.
Yeah.
Miguel keeps mentioning about how people get recycled, right?
I love that too.
Yeah, exactly. And it made me realize, it's my turn to start recognizing people that can help fill the leadership void as we progress. And so I hope to make a difference and reach out to people and say, hey, I see you.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're getting involved.
Well, I think you've started doing this already, right? Like, so you've been on our mentoring program as a mentor this last cohort, and it's just, it's been amazing. There's so many ways to both, learn and take and grow, and then sort of give back, and it's
Yep.
It's one of the best things about the society.
Agreed. Yeah, I think there's just different ways to mentor. So I do enjoy participating in the mentoring program with Alani, Pedro, and Laura, right?
Yep.
Saw two of them this week. But also, I think it's a little bit different when you just personally recognize someone for what they're doing and their potential within society. Just say like, hey, I see you. I see what you could become, and ISCT might be a good fit for you. So.
Yeah, we're really lucky to have you.
Thanks. No, and you. I mean, it's incredible. Congratulations again on VP of ANC. That's
thanks.
amazing.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so much happening, and you know what? Keep in touch, and we're really looking forward to seeing you all next year in Toronto.
See you in Toronto.
Hello everyone and welcome to ISCT TV. Today I have Colin Burke here. He's a member of the Irish Parliament and on the Health Committee. Thank you so much for being here and talking to us today.
Very welcome, and you're very welcome to Dublin. Delighted you're here.
How does it feel to have ISCT and all these giants in the field join you here in Dublin?
I think it's fantastic because you have over 2,500 people coming in from over 50 different countries, and it's about sharing information and making sure that we can develop new ways of providing healthcare and delivering that so that people who have medical challenges get the best quality care and get through to recovery.
The pharmaceutical industry and cell and gene therapy is really booming here in Ireland as a whole. Can you give us an overview of the landscape?
Absolutely. My home constituency where I was elected to represent, we have 9 of the top 10 pharmaceutical companies in the world based there, manufacturing and employing quite a lot of people. And they've been a huge contributor both in respect of, providing employment, but also contributing to the economy nationally. But the important thing is about producing medication that's available worldwide, and I think it's an important contribution that they are making here, both to the local economy, but also to healthcare worldwide.
And how do you envision this growth over the next, say, decade?
In relation to the industry is continuing to grow here in Ireland, and remember, the European market is 460 million people, so it's a huge market. Ireland is just a small part of that, and I think as well is being able to export to outside of Europe as well. But the important thing is that every large pharmaceutical company need to have a base in Europe, and Ireland has been the beneficiary of that as well.
So I want to talk a little bit about NIBRT, and it's this collaboration between government, industry and academia. And can you just tell us a little bit about that model and how it's helping out this industry?
Well, we have now established an overall body that's working with over 220 different pharmaceutical companies, and it's about getting research and development working together both with the Industrial Development Authority, which is involved in the funding, Enterprise Ireland, but it's also about working with the academic field here in Ireland in relation to research and development within our universities. And it's a case of everyone working together, and therefore we can develop, the research can produce new ways of providing treatment. And it's important that we are able to develop that new treatment, and that's why it's so important that this overall body was established to deal with this issue.
Yeah, I love the collaboration, and science cannot be done.
Yeah, absolutely,
solely.
And we have made a lot of progress in relation to medical care over the last 20, 25 years. It's now moving at a faster pace because of the whole level of funding being put into research, and it's coming from both governments, from the pharmaceutical industry as well, but also from the third level institutions, universities, and I think that's extremely important. And across the world, if you look at, life expectancy now in Ireland, and we're one of the best in Europe, but right across the world, life expectancy has changed so much, and that's as a direct result of new treatments being provided new medication coming on stream, and a new way of dealing with challenging issues in healthcare.
I have one last question. Can you tell me what your favorite cell is?
My favorite cell is CAR-T, and I think it's important that every, all the work in this area has been superb, the way it has been developed and the way it's providing the care for people. But it's important, we all have a favorite and everything, but I think CAR-T is my favorite one.
Great answer.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being here today. It was great talking with you. Thank you.
Oh, look who it is. Yeah. Hector, how are you? Always great to see you. Enjoying Dublin?
So far, so good, man. Yeah, all good.
Enjoying any of the sessions in particular?
Yeah, well, I have a background on MSCs, so I have been going all the elevator pitch for the MSCs, see what the people is doing, trying with when they condense all their work in 2 minutes. I really enjoy those, so yeah, it has been great.
This man used to be in Galway with me, and now
exactly.
he's back in Dublin, and it's great to see him.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be around.
Great, and sure, listen, enjoy the rest of the conference.
I'll try my best.
Go easy on the Guinness.
I can't promise that. Bye.
See ya, come on. I'm here with Sven Keeley. Welcome you to Dublin.
Thank you very much, Mikey. It's wonderful to be here.
You've been involved in so many different things, from the plenary session, roundtable, and then there's a pitch session. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So it's been so much fun, as ISCT always is. I started off with a roundtable session where we talked about company formation. We talked about some of the challenges, about creating companies and taking them forward, and really what's needed to empower companies to go forward. And so that ended up being a really strong discussion. We talked about manufacturing, we talked about really good technology, and we talked obviously about venture investing and what companies are looking for. Then yesterday, I was fortunate enough to sit with Phil Vanek, and we judged a startup competition. The slight challenge for me is it was mostly tools and technology, and as people that know me, I can't spell tools. So that's a bit of a challenge, but there were still some amazing technologies that even I could understand. So I'm really excited for the future of cell and gene therapy, manufacturing and science. I think a lot of the early stage startups are really working very hard to make lives of developers much easier, much simpler, and there's been an enormous amount of thought that has gone into the new technology. So I found that exceptionally exciting. And then the last thing was yesterday, we had a plenary session looking at taking therapies forward more from the industrial capacity. And so there I spoke about really the VC aspect and also from a rare disease developer perspective. So we talked about, what is it that VCs look for in investing in companies, particularly early stage, that should go forward to an approved product. And then we also talked about some of the challenges in the clinical development and the actual approval process, so timing, activities that are required, and things like that very often aren't talked about at meetings like this because a lot of the discussions tend to be more academic. So we really tried to bring in the industrial perspective.
Of course.
And so hopefully that was well received, and it allows us to bridge between the academics and industry and help to learn to speak each other's languages.
So you've covered a broad range of topics over this conference so far, yeah. So what other innovative topics can we look forward to between now and Toronto next year?
I think there is just so much happening in the cell and gene therapy space. We're starting to see markets open up. We're starting to see slightly more investment. We started seeing some IPOs, so that allows the technology space to really expand. I think what is starting to look really exciting is more efficient and better use of starting materials, so thinking about iPSCs, how do we use them more effectively? We're looking at lots of new transduction and delivery methods. So there's some really interesting movements happening both in viral vectors and our ability to target those to specific cell types, but also in non-viral vectors and the ability to package to transduce very well and also to target really efficiently and effectively. So I'm very, very positive about the future.
That's brilliant, Sven. Thanks a million for your time. Always appreciate it.
Thank you very much and look forward to next year.
Brilliant. And thank you all for listening. And I can't wait to welcome you to Toronto next year. Yeah, let's come up this way. Nikita, come here. No, you're coming here. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
You enjoying the conference?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Enjoying Dublin?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. Anything in particular you like about ISCT here in the conference?
It's been great. Some of the talks have been fantastic. It's good to obviously be here with a lively crowd in Dublin. So yeah, it's been fantastic.
And it's always such a friendly atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously being in Dublin makes it even friendlier.
Of course it
Yeah.
does.
Thanks a million. Listen, we'll see you around.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of the time.
See you later.
Okay,
Bye.
take care. Hi guys, how are you?
Oh, good.
Yeah, good. You enjoying the conference?
Of course.
Yeah, brilliant. And it's great to have you in Dublin. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Have you attended many sessions today?
A couple of them, yes.
Yeah. Any of the round tables you liked in particular?
Well, I really like the AI roundtable, and a couple of days ago. Today, of course, I'm biased because I was sharing a session, so I'm going to say the one around bringing these therapies to patients worldwide. So I think that's really important.
Brilliant. Thanks, Elsa. And what about yourself? Did you enjoy anything in particular?
I really enjoyed this morning session, in part because it was a group of people and a conversation that isn't always part of these meetings, something really special about this particular group of participants. And yeah, overall, it's been a great conference.
Thanks a million, guys. Enjoy the rest of the conference. I'm here with Phil Vanek. Phil, great to have you.
Great to be back in Dublin.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good. It's good to see you brought the good weather.
Yep, that's what I'm here for.
So your session yesterday in the launch on patient access, which I personally attended and really enjoyed, you had Sven Keeley, you had Christopher Van and Julie Cantor, multiple different perspectives. Can you tell us a little bit about the session and the different content?
Yeah, so if you're familiar with the Translational Pathway Program, it's meant to cover from science all the way through commercialization. Historically, we've run those sessions linearly and put launch and patient access at the very end of the day, right, on a Friday afternoon, which makes it well attended. We decided this year to actually move it forward into the program and actually put it into the beginning of the discussion so that we start with patient access at the very front of the program. The one takeaway that I had, which was really interesting, a few people came up to me afterwards and said, like, we've always talked about the launch. We've always talked about getting product through CMC, through commercialization, but we never talk about reimbursement. We never talk about patient access and the challenge. In particular, for some of these indications like sickle cell, which is a semi-rare disease.
And we talked about a lot. It was good to get that discussion yesterday, and we talked a lot with the audience. So just to pivot a tiny bit, in terms of as Chief Commercialization Officer, you're obviously very involved in the industry committee. Could you tell us just a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think the industry plays a really critical role in our ecosystem, right? The therapy developers are dependent on good technologies and the relationships that they have with everything from vendors, sponsors of this organization, all the people that are around us are really important to sort of this continuity and building awareness of cell and gene therapy. As the head of the industry committee, I have a few priorities. I'm really interested in sort of cultivating not only the sort of continuity between the functions, so we're not solely or not siloed into a scientific discussion, not siloed into a clinical discussion, but we're having conversations that are more meaningful and more comprehensive of all those challenges. But the industry committee is the sort of representative body for ISCT of all the folks that are investors, CDMOs, life sciences tools and tech companies, etc.
Yeah, the complete ecosystem. And is there any particular priorities for this year coming that you have in mind?
Yeah, okay, we have three. One is to continually build on the industry committee and recruit new organizations. I'm very excited to be working with our new chief medical officer of the ISCT, because that brings and opens up the door to a lot of the clinical centers that are, again, an important part of our constituency and our membership. And then the third is really to develop ESPs and to bring in the next generation of leaders to ISCT.
Brilliant, and that's obviously so important. But anyways, Phil, thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure.
Really enjoy it. Thanks for having me in Dublin.
Absolutely.
Am I invited back, or are you taking my passport?
Of course.
Okay, awesome, perfect.
Thank you all for watching, and I can't wait to welcome you to Toronto next year. I can't wait to welcome you all to Toronto next year. Take care. Let me do that again.
No, the week was precious. Keep that, God. That's it.
I completely panicked.